Hi everybody, we're going to talk about notes from 7th grade Common Core lesson 1.5. We're going to be dividing integers. The rules for dividing integers and multiplying integers are the exact same. If I have a positive and I divide it by a positive, just like we did in 2nd and 3rd grade, it's still going to be positive. If I have a positive divided by a negative, it's going to be a negative. When we go ahead and do that, we can say how many groups of -3 are there, which will still give us negatives within our groupings. We can also look at it as a negative being the opposite. So therefore, a positive divided by a negative is a negative. If we switch the order around and do a negative divided by a positive, it's still a negative. Two negatives, when being divided, end up equaling a positive. The reason for that is we can look at it as if it's an opposite. If I go ahead and say the opposite of the opposite, I'm back to the original. Therefore, a negative divided by a negative is a positive. We're going to be evaluating some expressions. I first go ahead and do 8 divided by 4. That answer is 2. This negative could be represented by the opposite. So 8 divided by 4 is 2, but I wanted the opposite of -8, so my answer ends up being the opposite. A negative divided by a positive is a negative. In example 2, there's multi-steps, so I have to follow order of operations. I'm going to do all multiplication and division from left to right, and then do and in this problem, then I'm going to do multiplication first and then division, because if I were to rewrite it, it would be in parentheses. So 3 times -4 is -12. I'm still left with a -6 being divided. -12 divided by -6 is 2. And that's a positive 2 because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. The last problem is talking about mean, which means you have to go ahead and add integers as well as divide. So it's combining some of the skills from the first part of the chapter. In order to find the mean, you find the sum and then you divide by however many terms or values are within the original problem. So I'm literally going to add up -3 plus 5 plus 4 plus -3 plus 1. And I'm going to divide all that by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because there's 5 numbers I'm adding up. Some of you will go ahead and say, all right, well, that's 2. 4 plus -3 is 1. And then that's another 1. And I have 2 plus 1 plus 1 is 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So the mean of these 5 values is 1. I've added them up and I divided by however many there are. Please be sure to know what these rules are and be able to explain why. Make sure you can go ahead and do division, multi-step multiplication and division, and that you're feeling comfortable about how to find the mean. Thanks. Have a good one. Don't forget to start and stop the video, or you could go ahead and watch it and then write, or you can write it, then watch. Everything I write down, you write down. Thanks. Have a good one.